Honorable, Honorable Chairman, Rajesh Srivastava ji, Principal, Dr. Arunima Chakrabarti, teachers, and my dear young friends. This is the second opportunity for me personally to visit this beautiful campus right on the banks of River Ganga. I left this place with very pleasant memories last time, and I had an opportunity to be a witness to another cultural program called, I remember probably it was Bhagalpur, in which I had the opportunity to see young students from the school and some other schools as well performing on several themes connected with different parts of India. Yesterday, as I received an invitation, it again was a matter of honor and privilege to be a part of this present evening in the campus. Coming back to school is always a pleasure. It takes me back to the times when I was also a young student, thinking of what should be my role for the future, planning, studying hard, with dreams in mind. Most of them were just to begin. Today, as I was putting on the badges on the young school committee, it was really taking me back into a walk through nostalgia. Even in school, at times I used to be the monitor of my class. It was a very different sense. It brought about a sense of responsibility and plus a feeling that I have to conduct myself in a manner which should inspire my friends. I have to be punctual. I have to speak certain things in a certain manner. I am supposed to have a certain behavior, and these things were always at the back of my mind. Leadership, my friends, is something which has no rules. It has no set rules. If you scan across different leaders in the world, you will find most of them had different personalities. They had different traits. None of them would be addressed as similar, or even many of their qualities would vary. But at the same time, with all the differences that people have in general, so do leaders have. But there are certain traits you'll find which are very common. One of the most important traits, as Srivastava ji rightly pointed out, is to be firm. Firm about your convictions, your beliefs. For being firm, first of all, you should be you'll have to understand what exactly you believe in. There should be no confusion. And for that, you need to have knowledge. You need to have a better understanding of what you wish to convey. It takes time. As I was tying your badges, again I was thinking about how the people who are standing on the stage with me, what their roles would be in different parts of the world in the coming times. Many of us have the habit to underestimate our capabilities. Many of us have a feeling that we are too young to achieve. Dear friends, if you look back at history, if you look back at the personalities who made the maximum difference to our state of existence today, you will find that most of them were those who started very early in their lives. We have different examples in the world, and we have umpteen number of examples in the history of India. I don't know how many young friends have heard or probably read about the life and deeds of Adi Shankaracharya. He was a young boy of the age of 8 years when he decided to take a change in his life. He became a recluse, he became a sannyasi with very strong commitments to bring about a change in the course of the way people used to think in those times. He passed away very early as well, at the age of 32. But in these 24 years, what he did can be felt moving across India. In the whole geographical entity, you'll find marks which people still remember what he did in just 24 years of his life. All of you must have heard of Chhatrapati Shivaji. You might be thinking that when he achieved success, he might have been of quite an old age. I don't know how many of you know, but probably many of you would be astonished when I tell you that he was just 16. Many of my young friends on the stage were about 16 as well. He was just 16 when he conquered the first fort. And the rest of his life has inspired several people in history. There are many more examples when you read our ancient scriptures. People like Yajnavalkya, Ashtavakra, many names you might not be very familiar with, but when you have a deeper understanding of our culture, you'll find there were many people who started young and they left their marks on the sands of history. So never underestimate yourself, be firm to your convictions, and once you're firm, always remember something that is very dear to me when I meet young students, the message I wish to share. So most of us, in fact all of us, have a desire. We have a desire to achieve something. But when with that desire, as we pass along the years of life, only some of us who had desired something in a young days actually achieve it. So what is the secret of success? All of us desire, most of us work towards it with a sense of dedication, commitment. The second D. The first D was desire. The second D is dedication. To achieve a goal, the first thing that starts is desire. The next thing is dedication. But even that is not sufficient to actually succeed. What makes the difference between all, the most, and the few is determination. Being firm to your convictions, and no matter what may come, no matter what criticism you may face, if you retain that confidence in your convictions, the boat will steer on. From all to the most, to becoming that select few which makes a difference. Always remember, there are no set rules. Winners don't do very different things, but they do things differently. Everyone has his own style, his own, what you call in present terminology, USP. Every one of us is blessed with something which is different. If we understand our strengths, our weaknesses, and we have very firm beliefs and convictions, with a positive mind, ready to face criticism, ready to face the other side, ready to tolerate the other side of belief as well, definitely the desire that we have in young mind, you will achieve it over the years. It was a pleasure interacting with young leaders who are going to contribute their bit to the future of our great nation. As we talk with each other, as we interact on the banks of River Ganga, I would like to end my speech with a reminder of what we were and what we are and what we should plan for the future. The place we are standing was home to the ancient city of Champa. Several Buddhist texts and historical texts have described Champa as the first city of the world. If you look at the history of India, you will find indeed Champa was one of the first cities which developed in the course of civilization. And that Champa had such an impact on foreign countries that so many people who used to come to trade used to get motivated by it, inspired by it. The country which we presently call Vietnam was called Champa from the 2nd century AD to almost the 17th century AD, because the kingdom which set a culture over there was inspired by this very Champa, which lies in utter neglect today. Another example on the different side is Vikramshila. About 1,000 years back, it was at the zenith of education in this country and beyond. From the Himalayan peaks, people used to start risking their entire lives to travel, to reach this place in adverse circumstances. They wanted to gain knowledge. They wanted to gain a dignified culture for their nation. This remote place, which today is connected by very poor roads, which has almost very bad connectivity in terms of rail and airports, used to inspire people thousands of miles away in distant territories and used to serve as an attraction. That is the land we come from. The more you understand your culture, the more you understand the roots of knowledge, I am very sure a day will not come when in your own lives, the torches that you bear in the names of your houses, Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, Magad, all reminding us of our great heritage, will inspire you to do something, to contribute something to the greatness that we wish to achieve, that we endeavour to achieve in the future. My best wishes to all of you for contributing towards building a more stronger, a better, a more visionary India. Always remember, we Indians have always esteemed knowledge. We have never been a culture of blind believers. Different parts of the world would accept something that was told. But in India, from the most ancient times, opposite to believing, we are seekers. We have been seeking the truth. If you read the most ancient of texts, the Rig Veda, it speaks of the Creator, but at the same time, it also has the universal question whether what we are speaking of as the Creator, whether He Himself is aware of how creation came from. That is the universal doubt we express, seeking the truth. And that truth still remains as the aim of every living being in our culture. My best wishes to you, and thanks for inviting me for a very pleasant evening. And it was indeed a great pleasure to hear Rajesh Srivastava for the second time with his lovely songs. And I wish to again be a part and be associated in the future. Thank you.
No one loves to end the pleasant memories. However, there must be an end in everything in life.